Hello, my name is Molly Metler, and for this video, I will be analyzing the extent to which the civil rights movement and the women's movement changed America in the 1960s. I will begin with the civil rights movement, for it changed America by revamping the social statuses of races, mainly through the struggles and actions of African Americans, which differed in the ways of the 50s. Now, the victories made in the 50s it re-energized the people that went into the 60s. A new hope was created as people sought out equality, and this hope was redoubled once advancements in the movement were seen through the government via the president and Congress, as opposed to the Supreme Court justice, which held the reins in the 50s. Now, Eisenhower did not display the same type of drive that JFK and Johnson displayed toward the civil rights movement, as seen through his quote, "It was not my province to talk about segregation or desegregation. I had the job of supporting a federal court that had issued a proper order under the Constitution." Now, the lack of Johnson's passion was overran by the actions of Congress, as they realized that they were increasingly getting criticized by the public for allowing such racism to occur in the South. Now, this pressure actually led to the creation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which forbade the discrimination against race, sex, age, and religious affiliation. Now, this actually deepened tensions, which caused the social atmosphere to shift from a nonviolent one to a violent one. For example, the rise of the Black Panthers made it clear that people were willing to do anything for Black liberation. In addition, the movement took a turn of events when Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered, and this caused people to become disillusioned and turn away from the ways of the 50s. Now, moving on, I will now be discussing the women's movement and how it changed the ways of the 60s, as it altered the perception of women as they gained more rights, which ultimately affected their lifestyle in the home and at work. Now, they wanted to tear down the image that was created during the 50s that simply displayed that women were the second sex, and which stayed home and cooked and took care of the kids that they were supposed to have. And one way they opposed this was by fighting for the right for abortion. In Chicago, they created an underground abortion hospital called Jane, which actually influenced other cities to do the same. But eventually, in 1960, the biggest achievement regarding abortion was when the Food and Drug Administration approved birth control pills, and the passing of the birth control pills tore down the tie that women had with the home. The cooking, baking, cleaning housewife was no longer around, and this made room for working women to step into society. And in the 1960s, 38% of American women were in nurturing jobs, and they were not welcome in other fields, as stated by this medical school dean. "Hell yes, we have a quota. We do keep women out when we can. We don't want them here, and they don't want them elsewhere." But actually, the Supreme Court ruling in Bow versus Colgate-Palmolive changed this by stating women meeting the physical requirements could work in many jobs that had been for men only. Now, this lifestyle change in the 60s still makes its mark today, as more and more women take on professional careers. It is clear that women have more of a choice in how they want to live their life. That concludes my POL. Thank you for listening.